Hello, myself Sunil Ramakrishna. Here basically we are discussing about the topic that is city creation. In this basically we are discussing about the infrastructure work basically, that is the open source basically, which is almost created by certain groups basically. In this we have discussed till 12 basically the points basically, and in this basically we are discussing one point basically, that is 13th number. And in 13th number basically we have discussed before that basically we will see basically what is the status of earthquakes basically. So earthquake basically, this all earthquake basically are planned according to the energies basically, according to the energies basically, according to the energy basically, according to energy basically, which is planned basically. See basically earthquake basically, and this is basically controlled by France group basically. This is controlled by France group basically. So just see basically up to what level earthquake basically are there. Up to what level the earthquake basically are. Up to what level the earthquakes basically are. One of the person told that, do you know basically one news channel is also there basically? There you told that yes, that contains in the television only basically. Television system basically. That basically is also one of the thing basically. Then basically you can say television system is there. Then basically what you can say? Then is you can say stable and unstable energies. Earthquake comes and not comes. 15 basically. What might be next basically? So earthquake means this earthquake basically. Just now basically last basically India got the earthquake when basically. Meghalaya basically. Last earthquake basically was in Meghalaya basically. That also 12 hours before basically. That was in 28th and today is 29 basically. See basically. So this was the earthquake basically last India basically got. So one of the person told that basically earthquake system basically is directly connected with the set of blood cells basically, that is according to the blood cells the environments are setted, and the environments basically connects to the set of stories basically that we have already discussed basically, what actually earthquake is, this, that basically, each and everything basically. Each and everything basically we had discussed basically. Each and everything basically we had discussed. So like this basically stable and unstable data basically also basically are there. This is also one of the open source basically you can say. These all are the open source group basically you can say, which is created by certain level of groups basically, which is connecting to that 12 lakh crore dollar basically, that is one amount basically, which is controlled by one certain level of groups basically who are controlling this amount basically. Then basically you can say kings groups, political tasks are controlled by this king, sports are controlled by that king, educations are controlled by this king. Like this basically each and every stuff basically which happens in this world basically, that is controlled by certain level of kings basically, you can say like that basically. So like this basically, what else basically might be? Then basically one of the person told that utilities basically which is getting created. For example, Noval, which is a booting system basically. In this, all OS, all software gets load and user can work. So like this utilities basically, many utilities basically are there basically. Then basically what might be, and this basically is open source basically. For this basically you require certain level of environment. If you want to prepare any Noval basically, then basically you can just imagine basically it's not so easy basically to create the Noval like booting system basically. If anybody is trying to create basically, then basically the Noval group is going to track that person basically, and then basically he will say you sell this basically software to us, that would be good for you basically. That is only basically is going to tell, because it's a entire world wise software companies basically are connected with those Noval only basically. On the base of that only the software gets boot basically. Like this basically, human clones, this is also basically that 5 crore example I have taken. 5 crore human clones created for particular task. Earth planet is going to move to that side. So that basically, then basically what else basically? So till now basically we have discussed what basically, this all are the infrastructure basically which is created by the certain level of groups basically, who are basically the open source group basically. There is no company basically created for them basically, but they might be the owner of certain level of companies basically, because to create this whole thing basically you require the infrastructure also na basically. Otherwise you can't basically create like that basically in home or basically in the certain level of space basically. It required big level of infrastructure basically. Rocket creation means you require the space in sky, lots of investment basically are there. So text box equal to 1,000 cities basically. To create one city basically, how many amount is required basically? At least basically 40-50,000 crore basically. So it's a small amount basically. So this group basically, this thing basically normal people basically can't create basically. And this is only basically connected with that 12 lakh crore dollar basically amount. Everything basically is connected with that only basically. Everything basically is connected with that only basically. Everything is basically connected with, and everything basically is connected with the Oxford group basically. That is by default, because Oxford group basically has given the 35 words to Microsoft, and they basically are into the sand level creation basically. Sand which is getting create, that basically they are creating it basically, because they have given the word, that is 35 word. And word basically what is that basically we have already discussed. In this word basically you can say some number also basically. Word basically contains some number also basically you can say, or basically you can say 35 words and numbers also we can give this name as a like this. So in next video basically we are going to see a little bit more about this.